Welcome to The Trend, where you'll get enlightened perspective on trending news and topics with amazing commentary. And today we're gonna have a very interesting episode. This is going to be the interview episodes that I was telling you guys about before. And basically, what this episode will be is a 1v1 conversation with my guest here, and it's going to be very interesting. I know you guys are ready for the discussions. I know you guys are ready for the potential debates depending on the topics, and it's going to be a lot of fun. As always, if you guys listen to the podcast, you can check out the website called www.thetrendwithrtlfaith.com. Check out all the episodes, check out all the videos, and even sign up to be a guest on that website as well. Rate it 5 stars on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, and all that good stuff. Now, let's dive into the episode, and we're going to introduce the guest. Go ahead, my guy. Introduce yourself.
Yep, your boy Josuke. Coming here to support my boy RTL podcast. Now I'm really interested to see what he asked me, but yeah, I run the podcast called Manga Against the World. Probably what some of you know me from. Some of you probably don't know me, but yeah, come check us out one day. You'll catch RTL over there as well.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. If you like the nerd stuff, make sure you check that out, of course. Now, I'm probably going to have I know I break it up into segments for the YouTube channel in terms of different segments for what I talk about on the podcast. The interview ones may be the entire VOD, but let me see after I edit it, and then I'll make a decision, of course. So, we got a lot to talk about. I plan to dive deep into the nerd stuff, of course. And before we even dive into any of that, we're going to do our positivity segment, because all the media news, all the social media news is filled with negativity. So why don't we just throw some positivity in there every now and then? So today's news for the positivity segment is from regarding space. If you guys love space, you're going to like this. So something known as the James Webb Telescope has been introduced, and apparently it's supposed to bring out new, more detailed photos of space that we've never seen before. It's going to dive into the farthest places of the universe, and allow us to see things that we have never seen in terms of like high definition. We may be able to learn so much more about space after this telescope releases its image, and it's very exciting for the people of obviously that's into astronomy, into all the space physics and all that stuff. But even if you're a casual fan of space and you like to see these details in terms of galaxies, universes, and stars and distant planets, I'm sure you're gonna find that interesting too. Josuke, do you like the space stuff and all that stuff?
Yeah, I find it interesting. I didn't know about this until like a couple hours ago, but yeah, I find that type of stuff interesting all the time. I look and read up on updates about what they found and stuff going on in space a lot. The most recent thing I saw was something about they found trash on Mars, human trash on Mars, which is kind of crazy because like how does human trash get on Mars? But yeah, so I'm into like all different type of stuff like that.
Crazy, yeah. I agree. Hey, maybe there is actually aliens in space. Okay,
No,
so
that's not what they're trying to say. They're trying to say like our trash is like our trash is migrated over there. They don't think it's people. Oh, actually, you get it? Like
no,
we
I
put
know,
that
I
there.
know, I know. Realistically, what the probable cause is most likely, but
Us?
do you believe in
Yeah,
aliens?
yeah, I do. I don't know if I necessarily believe in the whole green man bald head thing, but yeah, I do believe there's something else that has intelligence in the universe. Does that make sense? I don't know if they're like traveling to our planet every 2 weeks or something like that, but I definitely do. If I'm being honest with you, I think octopuses are aliens in a way.
Interesting. Okay. Hey, man, I'm sure a lot of people are gonna find that interesting because a lot of people do a lot of weird stuff with octopuses and tentacles. I'm just saying.
Yeah, there's a second smartest like entity on Earth besides human is an octopus, and scientists just don't know. There's some stuff about them that scientists just can't figure out. And there's some scientists that think they actually like came from a different planet off of a meteor. I don't know if you ever heard of that, but I
I've
look it up.
never. I've never heard of octopuses being singled out specifically, but there's a lot of very unique creatures on Earth that have been given the guise of potential alien or potentially from space, which is I mean, it's possible. Meteors fly down, they may release certain uh
Mm-hmm.
things off the meteors, creating different forms of life. It's possible. I'm not saying it's impossible, but that is our positivity segment. We got a few other segments that's going to be very interesting that I'm sure you guys will love to hear as well. But we're going to dive into the interview. So, Josuke, you talked about how you created a podcast about nerd stuff. You created a YouTube channel about it. What got you in the social media nerd game, anime game? What kind of got you in there?
Well, I always been into like I guess anime since like a little bit before high school, like middle school. You know, I was always playing Pokemon games and that sort of stuff as a kid and watching Dragon Ball. Um, but in high school, I kind of slowed down because it's high school, of course. But after high school, I graduated in about I'll say about 3 to 4 years after high school. Or no, it wasn't that long. It was maybe a year or two after high school. I like got even more deep into it. Hold on. Yeah, so about right around high school, I got back. I had kind of slowed down on anime and manga in general because I was dealing with high school stuff back in those days. So then about 2 years after high school, I kind of got this job at a warehouse, and I met these group of people, these group of guys, you know, Carlos, Jose, and this guy named Brandon, and they kind of got me back into the whole anime and manga thing because how much they talked about it and how much we used to watch it and had just have discussions at work about it. And so, like a couple months after doing that, man, I just was trying to figure out what I wanted to do, and I knew I wanted to do something. So I just started a YouTube channel. At first, discussing really One Piece, believe it or not. At first, I was just discussing One Piece and playing video games. And then somewhere down the line, I did a Black Clover episode about Marileona, like a 25-minute rant of just ranting about how powerful Marileona is. And next thing you know, I started doing Black Clover content. And that's all she wrote from there.
All right, respect, respect. Very similar way in terms of like enjoying anime and manga, and eventually going into the social media space with it, of course. But where does it start when it comes to you getting into anime and manga? When did that happen, and why did you even get into anime and manga in the first place?
Oh man, it's crazy that you asked me this because last weekend I saw the guy who actually got me into it when I was a kid. So when I was like 3 or 4, I had to go. I was being babysit by this older lady. Her name was Miss Dozier, and it was her. She had a son. His name was Junebug, and he was like I don't know, like 24 or something like that. He was a little old. He was obviously older, and I was like maybe 4 or 3 years old. And I remember him watching Dragon Ball. Or no, I was probably older than that by then. But I remember him being in there watching Dragon Ball, man. And it was me and another kid named Eddie Michael. And we was just really interested in what the hell he was watching because we knew at the time we knew it wasn't like the normal cartoons we saw on TV, but we was both just real interested in it. So yeah, this man named Junebug, bro, around like a 3 or 4, bro. I'm probably older than that if I'm being honest with you, but yeah, we just said he Junebug showed us Dragon Ball, and ever since then I've been into uh anime. But to be honest, I was kind of watching anime before that. I just didn't know what I was watching because I was watching stuff like Bobo Bobo Bobo, and I didn't realize that that was an anime. I always just thought that was just like a cartoon that come on at late at night.
Uh, the
So
fact that you said Bobo Bobo Bo as the anime that really started it is crazy. Usually people say
yeah,
DBZ, Yu-Gi-Oh, stuff like that.
nah, that was literally my first anime ever. Was Bobo Bobo, first one I ever watched.
Interesting. Yeah, that's one's like a parody type anime, right? It's just
Yeah,
does whatever it
super
wants.
funny. Like it's hilarious. Definitely should check it out.
The
And
fact,
Dragon Ball came when Dragon Ball came along. That was it. Like after I watched Dragon Ball, it was rap. See, I heard about Yu-Gi-Oh and I heard about Pokemon. I was not as a kid. I was not allowed to watch Yu-Gi-Oh or Pokemon or Digimon, any of those like Pocket Monsters or playing games. I was not able to watch them because my grandma, she was a real Christian, a old school head, and she did not play that shit. She did not want me watching no Pokemon, no Yu-Gi-Oh, none of that. So I used to have to literally sneak and play Pokemon video games. I wasn't able to watch it, but I used to get a game after I do some shit to get the game, and I used to have to sneak around the house and to actually enjoy playing it.
Okay, I could definitely imagine if she didn't like those series, she 100% would not let you watch Naruto or Bleach, especially
Absolutely
Bleach.
not. Absolutely not. I remember. It's funny that you say that, man. I remember specifically her seeing Naruto in one of his fox forms, and she was just like, "Oh my god, that's the devil." I shit you not.
Oh
Yeah,
man.
man. My grandma is an old school church goer, bro. She was not allowed. Like now, she doesn't. She doesn't do that nowadays. She understands nowadays as just entertainment. But back then, bro, especially Yu-Gi-Oh. Yu-Gi-Oh was the worst one to her, in her opinion. Yu-Gi-Oh was like the worst of them all.
Oh man, that I could imagine that because of all the different monsters, but that's pretty funny. That is pretty funny when it comes down to it.
Yeah, bro.
Uh
Anime was
oh,
the devil to her.
to be fair, like if you really think about it, and
It is, yeah.
I'm
If
being
you've been
honest.
objective, it's very devilish, Satanist. Like it has, anime has a lot of that in like a lot of the popular series. So you know,
Facts, like so the good guys turn into demons, and it tends to
hmm,
be the bad guys who turn into angels. If you
which
really,
in reality, like in our real world, is not far off. Especially as far as the way people see other people. You know what I mean?
yeah, but if you're like a Christian or a Catholic or whatever, you see that
Yeah.
they're glorifying demonism and demonizing angels and gods, and like
Yep.
I 100% understand. Like I'm looking at it. I'm not religious, but I can see it. Like I can see
Yeah.
why if you're Christian, you would not like this type of
And
stuff.
I was actually fond of it. Like I was actually in like I was just like that for a while. Like she had kind of convinced me that that is how it is, and like I wouldn't watch it. Like I would refuse to watch it for a while because I was like, nah, my grandma said that's devil shit, so I'm not watching it. But then I had to just like get over that and like started seeing it for myself about like what it really is. And if you really just sit there and like watch it, they it's like it's pretty much like all anime that has the whole deep devil. The main hero has a devil inside him type stuff. They're just showing you an anti-hero story. So that once I understood that this is just an anti-hero type story, that's when I was just like, okay, I was able to separate between the whole demons and shit.
Yeah, that's fair enough. It's definitely interesting when it comes down to it how Japan does that and
Yeah,
other mediums as well.
it's very popular over there. Like the whole, I don't want to call it Satanism or I don't know, but you try like it's literally hundreds of thousands of mangas, with some type of demon or Satan. Tokyo Ghoul. You're a Tokyo Ghoul fan, right? So
Yeah.
there you go.
Yeah. Yeah, there's always the depiction like it seems like all this the bad guys like angelic, godly, the second coming and the good guy
Yeah,
has
Blue
just an inner
Exorcist,
demon. Yeah, stuff like that. So,
Black Clover, all of them shits are the same way. Yep.
it's interesting though. It's definitely a different take on I mean, they base everything from their Japanese mythology anyway, so it's really
Yeah,
up to them how they want to depict everything. It's really
exactly.
not for us to do anything regarding that. With that said, speaking of demons, because Rax just messaged the group chat. So I know you were talking about Chainsaw Man before we started the episode. I actually wasn't really catching what you meant when you said Chainsaw Man is coming. I didn't know you meant Chainsaw Man Part Two was coming back.
Yes, dude. It comes back to tomorrow. I mean, Sunday.
Interest. The manga comes back. I mean, I'm not the biggest Chainsaw Man fan myself. I think it's pretty cool. I'm not like the biggest fan. Like, I mean, Chainsaw Man has its army. It's one of those series that will have its army, and I can see why it will be very hype when it comes back, for sure. How will it come back? I don't. I don't even know how to feel right now because as long as they find my girl power again, I'll be happy. That's how I'm
Yeah,
gonna
that's
say.
what I'm worried about too.
Yeah, because I don't know
I
about
wonder how
you.
long this first chapter gonna be pretty long. I think.
For a first chapter, for I feel like it should be. You have so much time to work on it. I feel like it should be a decent length. Um, I I'm very curious to how he plans to do it for the Chainsaw Man world. It's very interesting that he did a part one, part two. That just tells you how popular the series is for the most part. But
Yeah, the fact that he was able to do that.
facts. All right, so another question here before we go into the first segment. Let's dive into this. Everybody wants to hear it when it comes down to it. What is your favorite anime or manga, and why?
Probably One Piece. Probably One Piece, man. When I sit down and think about it, that's the one anime or manga that I probably sat down and read or invested the most time into. You know what I'm saying? I read and I know all the characters. I've been reading and watching it since literally 10th grade, probably before 10th grade. You know what I'm saying? It's been like 7+ years of me being invested into this certain anime and manga. So I just got to give it to One Piece right now. I love the story, love some of the characters. I don't like some of the fandoms, but that's besides the point. But the actual story, it has problems. Don't get me wrong. Like One Piece definitely has some problems where it has some times where I just hate it. But for the most part, that's probably my favorite manga of all time. If I ever stuck on an island with only one thing to read, I'm choosing One Piece every time.
I mean, I'll choose One Piece too, just because it's gonna take so much of my time. Uh, if we're being real, but One Piece is always like a shout. Like it's cemented for a reason. For me, it's in my top three of all time for a reason as well. And when it ends, it's gonna blow up the anime community. It's literally the anime community will go in like crazy. Social media will shut
there
down.
are there are literally people writing their goodbye One Piece tweets right now, saving them for the next 2 years when One Piece finally ends.
Bro, writing whole essays like it's gonna be interesting. Okay.
I swear to God.
All right, so we're gonna dive into our first segment here, and this is gonna be very interesting. It's called OMU. Overrated, underrated, middle. Just right. Meaning you have to rate these things overrated, underrated, middle,
Uh-huh.
just right. And to make things interesting, there's gonna be 10 of them. I'm gonna elicit for you. Only one of these are you allowed to explain. Only
Mm-hmm.
one. So, first one, Black Clover.
Hmm.
So you got a Spitfire. You can't think about it too long.
Oh, well, I'll probably say just right.
Just right. Okay. All right. One Piece.
A little bit over.
Overrated. One Piece is overrated.
A little bit, yeah.
Okay. All right. Fairy Tale.
A little underrated actually. But don't tell Rex I said that.
Interesting. Interesting. Okay. The Witcher.
The TV show or the game?
TV show.
Overrated.
Tough. Okay. Avengers Endgame.
Overrated.
Okay. All right. Game of Thrones.
Overrated.
Oof. Tough.
Can I explain that one?
Yeah, go for it. Go for it.
If it wasn't for the last 3 seasons, it would be just right. But since the last 3 seasons, overrated.
Okay, fair enough. Fair enough. Okay, have you seen Seven Deadly Sins?
Yes.
Seven Deadly Sins.
Definitely overrated.
Oh my gosh, I can't believe you did that to Quan, bro. Interesting. Okay. Code Geass.
Overrated as shit.
It's tough. Attack on
Overrated
Titan.
as shit. Oh, I mean, I, I, the only people who overrate Attack on Titan are the normies. So, but at the end of the day, it's overrated. So,
Interesting. Okay. The only thing that got underrated here is Fairy Tale. So shout out Rex. Shout out Rex.
yeah, I just like to fuck with rats about Fairy Tail for the most part. I really do like it,
Okay,
and I
fair
think
enough.
Natsu is one of my favorite main characters. But again, I just don't tell Rack that.
Well, this may or may not be a clip on TikTok, so we'll see. Um,
That's fine.
okay, so let's go back into the interview. So when it comes down to it, we talked like extensively on anime it being very enjoyable, manga being very enjoyable. We even talked about how it related to kind of people who are part of Christian families. But when it comes to anime, do you think there is a difference watching anime being black versus other races?
No, I don't think so. Hold on.
Explain.
What do you mean? Because no, for me, I'm just watching the show that's entertaining me, and I'm just getting attached to certain characters, and I'm getting involved in certain storylines, and I'm getting involved in certain plots as far as emotionally or whatever the case might be. But some people, they're more of those people where they want to see somebody that looks like them inside of the show, every show or every TV media that they watch or that they look at. Not, I don't need to see a 6'1" black dude in every show that I watch. You know what I'm saying? To enjoy it. You feel me? I'm not like that. So for me, no, I don't think it's no different between watching anime when you're black or white or whatever the case might be. You're going to enjoy it. It's going to entertain you, and that's all it should be.
Well,
But some people
th-
they do want to see themselves inside the shows or the entertainment that they watch. So
think about it. Well, think about it in this different kind of perspective. Not you personally, but the perception of you being black watching anime
that's a
from your
different question.
peers. Yeah, that's what I'm looking at.
Yeah,
Um,
that's a different question. That's a whole all right. So as far as that, uh, as a teenager, it was a bit rough. I'm not gonna lie. As a teenager, then like middle school, I wasn't telling nobody I was watching anime. I wasn't gonna tell nobody because I used to see how they get treated. I used to see those guys at the library playing Yu-Gi-Oh early as hell in the morning before class start. You know what I'm saying? Those guys used to be like called names and picked on and shit like that. And they just didn't. They just wasn't cool. Like the anime nerd guys was like really lame and just they always had. They was always just looking crazy. Big ass jackets on, and they just wasn't the guys to be around. Guys that got females or nothing like that. So mind you, I'm into that stuff too. But I'm also into anime. So when I was a teenager and towards a kid, I didn't even tell nobody I was watching anime. Like I would hide it. Literally, I would hide it. I wouldn't tell nobody because from where I'm from, it's not really something that's looked at as cool. That's not really something that females like, or whatever the case might be. It was until I got into really like 11th grade is when I was just like, I just said fuck that. I don't really care what nobody thinks, and yeah, I got out of that mindset of where, oh, I have to be perceived as to look cool, and I can't watch anime because in the black community, I don't care what nobody say. Back in the day, watching anime and watching nerdy stuff and all that shit was not cool. It wasn't a cool thing. You got looked down upon for it, and yeah, I went through that for a minute, but yeah, around 10th grade, bro, I did not care no more. So it was just I just did what I wanted to. I didn't care what nobody said about me.
yeah, I definitely think there is something there in terms of like perception of like watching anime or reading manga makes
I
you
don't think
look
no more.
to an
I
extent,
think
right?
I
Because
think it's
like
gone.
to an extent, because there are still groups of people that will deem it very nerdy and very weak. Like for example, back in military training, there's this guy when I was doing combat training, and he definitely wasn't the most athletic. He definitely was the nerdiest out of the rest of us. And he
Right.
brought Yu-Gi-Oh cards with
Right.
him to combat training. Now, for me, I don't care what anybody thinks. He pulled out the Yu-Gi-Oh cards I wanted to play. So I got there playing. It was funny because like one of the sergeants walked by, he's like, "Yo, what are you doing? What the hell are you doing?" I'm like, "I'm playing Yu-Gi-Oh cards." But
Mm-hmm.
everybody was kind of like, I was like, nobody was really like coming at me, but a lot of people were coming at him for bringing it and all that, even though I was playing too. So it's like the re
Okay, so that's more of a military environment. You know, like I could see why in that environment people probably wouldn't want Yu-Gi-Oh cards around. That's not really the right environment for that
but
necessarily because
replace Yu-Gi-Oh cards with normal cards, and I don't think he says a thing.
very true. But again, that's just that environment. You know what I'm saying? And what I mean by that is just I mean like military environment and society is like just too different. You know what I'm saying? Like nowadays, bro. Um, I can go to the hood and I'll see those same guys who used to pick on the nerd kids in high school, like when I was in middle school or when I was in like elementary or middle school or whatever. I see those same guys who used to like bully those nerd guys who used to be at the library playing Yu-Gi-Oh cards. I be seeing those guys like at the bus stop playing Switch, you know, playing like Mario Karts and nowadays I be seeing that like you know what I'm saying. So that's why I feel like nowadays it's changed. Like you got the gangsters out here, at least in Florida. You really got the gangsters out here arguing about Naruto nowadays. So it's a lot has changed, but not everywhere. You know what I'm saying? I wouldn't expect it to change in the military. If I'm being honest with you, honestly, it's probably certain hoods where it hasn't changed much. I just know like where I'm from is more acceptable, and I like that. And I think the kids where I'm from are having a better childhood because it's more acceptable.
Okay, fair enough. Now that actually goes hand in hand with another question I'm gonna ask here because this was gonna be for a later segment, but I don't think it's controversial enough anyway. So I'm gonna ask it now. This really stems from like a TikTok clip that I saw recently, and
Mm-hmm.
basically the TikTok clip was someone interviewing this one guy who's at like Anime Con or whatever, and they asked him about the current state. They just asked him a question, and he said um I have something like controversial to kind of add to it. And basically what his premise was is that I don't like the current state of anime because the people who used to because now that it's cool, the people who used to like you said, bully people like me and hate on people like me now are praising it and loving it and being the first ones to talk about anime. And it seems like it's kind of messed up and I don't like that. So what do you think about that idea for like the people who were quote unquote the outcasts before like anime got big, the first ones that got into the anime community? I would personally consider myself like a I loved anime since the beginning. I didn't really care what people said, but obviously I wasn't an outcast. No matter where I was, I'll be honest, I wasn't an outcast in terms of popularity. Like I was always part of that group. But though there's other people who weren't like me that were outcasts that people didn't like them, but they were the anime guys, and now it's all popular. So, what do you think about that?
Yeah, in terms of that, I feel him. I 100% feel him, and I kind of agree with him to an extent. Like it's the same thing with what the government is doing with this weed, with the weed stuff. You know what I'm saying? They're legalizing weed all over the place, and the first people that is jumping in are the people that's never been to jail for weed, that's never sold weed a day in their life, but they're the first one to have access to to all the new weed law legalization, whatever the hell it's called. It's the same thing with that, right? It's like I feel them on that. You know what I'm saying? Like I used to have to, me personally, I used to have to hide my anime watching because of certain shit. You know what I'm saying? And then a nigga who I used to like not want to know that I watch anime, he watch more anime than me now, and he talks about it more than me now. I just I just don't feel him on the fact that it's something wrong with that. You know what I mean? I don't think there's nothing wrong with more people getting involved or even if those people just I don't think there's nothing wrong with changing and letting people change their mind about something. You know what I mean? I think his problems from the way you broke it down was more of the fact that they're making money off of it and profiting off of it and he's not, I think that's fucked up too. Honestly, like if I can
Well,
choose,
it seemed like more of a situation where the people who was hating on him are now acting like they've loved it since the beginning.
yeah,
Because I
and
think that's more of his issue.
I that's why I said I feel him, and I probably would feel the same way if I'm being honest with you, 100%. Like, you know what I'm saying, 100%. It's the same thing with those people on Twitter who used to talk, bro. Black Clover used to get talk shit every day, like it was getting slandered. You know what I mean? And now everybody, you like you post a picture of a female and then post a good Black Clover quote. Oh, you got like 3,000 followers. It's kind of the same thing. So I can definitely understand them. You know what I'm saying? Some of those people really had to go through shit. People got. I've seen people get milk cartons poured on their head because they had Pokemon cards. I've seen that in person. I've witnessed that. You know
So
what I
that's
mean? And I
beyond
think you
the school TV show bully trends that actually happen in real life.
dead ass. I know several. I've seen that several times happen. I've seen like nerds walk in and they're just like looking at their binders with their Yu-Gi-Oh cards in them, and somebody just smacked the binder out of their hand for no reason. I've seen that type of
I've
shit.
never
You know
seen
what I mean?
that
And I just
personally.
imagine, oh fuck yeah, you ain't go. I mean, you probably did. You probably went to the right school, so that's probably why. But
No, I think the difference in your situation versus mine is because of the group of people who were deemed popular, we're not okay with stuff like that. So that's why it wasn't really a thing. We didn't really have bullies per se.
well, see,
Like,
that's the not. I'm not the popular kids aren't the ones who doing that. You know what I'm saying? It's just regular people.
hmm,
That like I wouldn't say like you know what I'm saying. The football team, we not running around. We wasn't doing that. We were like, but just regular old folks who think they're better than somebody who just reading comic books. They're the ones who doing it. You know what I mean? It's
fair
like that
enough.
that guy who wants to be with the popular kids, but he's just not popular enough. But at the same time, he's popular enough to where he can bully the nerd kids and nobody would care.
True. I understand what you're saying.
That was
Okay.
that was those were the guys who was doing that type of stuff, and it was just fucked up. And like imagine being that kid who's been getting milk cartons poured on you since you was goddamn 8 years old, and now you're 18, and now you got Megan Thee Stallion posting anime, and she probably don't even watch anime but probably twice a month, and now like she's making millions of dollars off of it, and you got your little YouTube channel, got like 4,000 subscribers, and fucking you've been doing this since you was 8 years old. You would feel some type of way.
Yeah. Yeah, I did. I think you definitely have a point. And that begs another question in terms of like the current state of anime and manga. Is anime
I
a
don't believe none of those If you're about to ask me about all those celebrities and people who be posting anime, I don't believe none of them.
well,
Like
that's not
all
what
those
I was gonna
celebrity
ask.
shit. Hold on, just let me rant about this real quick because I'm
Go
tired
for
of
it, go
seeing it.
for it.
All those celebrities, bro. They be bullshitting, bro. They have PR teams that set that type of shit up for them. None of them motherfuckers really into anime. Stop telling me about when Meg Thee Stallion posts Black Clovers. I don't give a fuck. Stop telling me about the little baby watching. I don't care because all that shit fake. Well, anyway, go ahead, RT.
I mean, you may be right about that, which
It is.
also plays into my current question is do you think anime is a trend or do you think people actually like care about anime like they used to in terms of like when the in-depth storylines, the
Both.
unique characterization. Do you think it's more people are just watching it because now it's the trendy thing, or do you
I
think
think
people
both.
actually care about it?
Oh my god, it's like 3 hours out here right now. I'm sorry, but I'm on my bad, RT. But I literally see 3 hours. Jesus, it's huge. I think
Florida
both though,
different.
bro. I don't know. You might can hear them in the background. They're fucking loud. Um, I think both things are. I think both things are true. Everybody is definitely picking up on how uh with TikTok and YouTube and all these places where you can make money and shit like that. Oh, you definitely, but you best believe everybody's just jumping on that trend of this anime show is big, so let me go make a video or let me go react to it or let me go watch it. Let me pretend like I love this fandom. And see the thing, I think anime fans kind of did themselves to themselves because, and I'll tell you this, the reason why it's because they're too accepting, and this has been the case, right? Anime fans, they're some of the most accepting fans. The most like they will accept anybody no matter what, and it's because they're the ones who used to get picked on in middle school and high school. That's why they're so accepting to people who want to come join them and be interested in something that they're interested in, right? So, man, you'll get on fucking sports Twitter, or you'll get on Black Twitter, or whatever any of those other little side Twitters, and you'll be tweeting stuff out, and you will probably get like 4 likes in like the matter of 3 months. You get on any Twitter, bro, and just say like, "Hi guys, like I'm new to Twitter. I'm into
And
Bleach, and I'm
then
just
list
looking
all the
for
anime you like. Yep.
yeah, and I'm just looking for people that's into the same stuff I'm into." You'll get like 300 new friend requests right there, and they're all genuine people that really into the same stuff you're into. So it's without a doubt in my mind that it's literally millions of people that just take advantage of that. I know people that's not even Demon Slayer fans, but they tweet about Demon Slayer all day because it gets them likes.
Oh
I
yeah,
know people that makes TikToks about One Piece all day and they hate One Piece. You know what I
there's
mean?
definitely a formula to take advantage of anime fans and manga fans for sure.
Yeah, because they're
Um,
too accepting.
exactly. That's a very interesting point. So with that said, we're gonna go into our second segment. Another very interesting segment for you guys. It's called PC or C. I know, amazing name. Politically correct or canceled is the game. Bars. Now,
I think, real quick, I think your overrated, underrated name is better than this name, but go off, RT.
okay, fair enough, fair enough. I'll take it where I can get it. So, this is going to be a very controversial question, and
Mm-hmm.
you can answer it truthfully if you want, or you can say the politically correct answer. Up to you. Up to you. All right. So, with the current state of affairs with Roe v. Wade, do you
Oh
think
my!
it was justified for them to pass or overturn Roe v. Wade?
Was it justified to overturn Roe v. Wade?
Correct. Now, you could say the
Ah,
politically correct answer by all means, or you could
I
say
don't.
the other one.
I don't know. Like, I don't know enough information to even answer that question. You know what I mean? I have no idea what Roe v. Wade consisted of. I have no idea. Like, was I don't know if I have enough. Like, I'm just not the person to answer that question. But I'll tell you, I'll tell you this. It really like fucked the world up as far as like how they reacted to it. I didn't expect like the reaction that the way it happened. So that's kind of what made me pay attention to it a little bit more because how like a lot of people around the world was reacting to it.
Okay.
So it's something that I definitely like taking interest in, I guess, and see like to learn more about it because I have been learning a little bit more about it over the days, but not
Well, you
too
should
much.
have learned plenty if you listened to all my podcast episodes. Just saying. I
I
break
listen to
everything
your
down.
podcast episodes. I mean, but not. I don't listen to like the full thing. I haven't listened to
No,
the
you're
full
good.
thing
You're
anymore.
good.
But
I'm just joking.
uh, I'm trying to figure out like what like I don't think there's a right way of approaching it, especially since I just don't know like. So Roe v. and Wade, that was like court a court case, right? From whatever,
Yeah.
like
Supreme
you see what
Court
I'm saying?
case. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. That's literally the extent of what I know about it.
Okay. All right. Well, I'll tell
But
you more
I'll tell
after.
you, I'll tell you my feels on abortion in general.
You want to answer that one?
I like I don't me personally, huh? I don't know, bro, because I'm trying to think of how I will react if it was me in that situation. That's how I really want to explain. I think that's the best way to explain a situation. But I can't see myself being in that situation for real,
Okay.
man.
Hey, fair enough. We will say PC. I need to get a PC button. That was the PC answer right there. Nothing wrong with it because not everybody needs to have a cancelable take. We ain't Donald Trump out here. It is what it is. All
I'm
right.
trying to think like, hold on. I'm trying to think like, how do I how do you feel when you don't have a feel?
You're neutral. You don't
When I
you don't
just don't care? Cause like I'm not a female. So this
yeah,
don't really affect me.
you're neutral to the cause. That's basically what it is. You're just neutral.
Yeah, I know. I don't like how they're lying to like a lot of females, like how the news is lying to them.
Well, that's
But
what the news does all the time. Why do you think I start the
yeah,
podcast? All they do is lie,
I don't
lie
like that part.
every
I know
day.
that much. But as far as Roe v. Wade specifically, I don't know what the fuck goes on with that.
Fair enough. Fair enough. Um. All right, so we'll move on to the a little bit more into the interview. Uh, appreciate your response, but okay, so when it comes down to it, for like the anime and manga community, do you feel like it's okay for so many people to simp over all these fictional characters?
Uh,
Like to the point where like they will talk about them every day. What do you think about that?
uh, personally, I don't care. It's the same thing with the whole Roe v. Wade situation. Man, I just don't be caring. I think these guys are weird, you know what I'm saying? But I can think that from a distance. I know I wouldn't do it. I know it's not my cup of tea, but it's definitely a it. I don't think it's a problem, especially if you're not necessarily hurting anybody else. Anybody, if you're not hurting anybody, but I do think it can become a problem, especially for like the people who's into like the lolly stuff. That's see now that can get kind of sticky and weird. So,
I mean, lollies
um,
are still of age. They just look like kids.
okay, so which one is like the opposite of lollies?
Well, actual kids.
Okay, yeah. Well, when it comes to like, yeah, like if you're out here fantasizing about the Promised Neverland season one kids, then you're just like, there's something wrong with you, and that's a problem in my opinion.
Well, there's definitely steps to it, and that make it very interesting, right? Because you go from the fictional anime characters, and this is
Hmm.
where um whether you agree with me or not, it is what it is. There's nothing. I'm not saying it's wrong. I'm not saying it's right, but it is what it is. Then you go
Hmm.
to the cosplayers who benefit so much from the anime and manga community. They cosplay
Mm.
as people's favorite anime characters, and you also and then you even go even a step further in VTubers, where they're virtual
Hmm.
anime characters that does whatever they do on stream or on video and whatever, and that's just another step. So in terms of like these guys that are, let's call it what it is, there's some of them, not all of y'all, some of them may be incels where they're just
Yeah,
just can't get
let's be
any,
honest.
just can't get any. Do you think it's healthy when it comes down to them just keep on digging themselves in the hole with social media? Because people may argue that the internet and social media is ruining social skills to an extreme extent.
100%, 100%. Is and it can definitely mess up your way of thinking as far as like women and the how to approach women. It like going too deep with that can really mess up you as far as real life because like you kind of get the lines blurred a little bit trying to like simp over a female too hard, especially if she's a fictional character. And so you'll begin to kind of start talking to real women in a way you talking to this fictional character, and that's just not going to work. And yeah, it really is a lot of incels that's into that sort of stuff. There's a lot of guys who's into that stuff that's not incels too. But even then, it's still kind of weird because like, what does that benefit you? In any way? And I'm talking about the extreme people, not mind.
Right.
I'm not talking about the guys who just post Miliona every now and then, or I'm not talking about those guys. I'm talking about the obsessive people, the extreme of the extreme.
Oh
Those
yeah,
guys I do
there's
think.
certain words I got blocked on Twitter for those people, for
Right.
sure.
Yeah. Right. When it comes to them, I do think it can be a problem for them in their real life. But again, as long as it's not actually hurting anybody else, like any other human being, I really don't care, bro. Like, do what you're gonna do. Just don't hurt other people. But just know that your life, it is affecting your life. And if you think it's not affecting your life, then you're just kind of delusional. Because I promise you, you gotta stop doing that certain stuff. Like, if you stop, you'll notice a difference in your life.
Oh yeah, that's very true. And not again, we're not saying like all people who like anime female characters is bad. We're just saying
Yeah,
like
just
if it gets
extreme.
unhealthy, you would recognize it being unhealthy to a certain extent, especially when you're spending thousands of dollars to for like a cosplayer or VTuber just
Oh
because
yeah.
they're cosplaying or VTubing. And there's nothing again. There's even nothing wrong with being a cosplayer. There's nothing wrong with being a VTuber. Just when people are being unhealthy, they're being unhealthy, and there's a recognition of who those people are. And I'm sure we all know who those people are. Let's just be keep it a buck. So yeah, that's definitely the case. And it's just very interesting considering the state of social media. And it's not like I don't know if they're going to do anything to kind of make sure people step out of their shells or anything like that. But eventually it will transition to something else, right?
Mm.
Virtual reality.
uh, and
And
that's what shit.
then,
That's what, yeah, you're gonna really see some really like sick motherfuckers when that type of stuff start coming around.
yeah, especially when
You're
you
gonna
could
see some
be
real
whoever
sick
you
people.
want too.
Yeah, it's gonna be some sick people coming around when that type of bullshit happens. But as far as those like regular old Joes that you see on Twitter, bro, I don't care about them guys. Them guys not really hurting nobody and nothing like that. You know what I'm saying? Um, I do, I do think it can become a problem though. So that's just my answer for that. It's not a problem until it becomes one.
Facts. That is facts. All right. So I don't know. Just saying some potential things that for people to kind of look out for. You know, like you're in the anime and manga community. Now, do you have anything in your personal experience of like watching anime or reading manga or just being in the anime manga space that kind of stood out to you, whether it's really positive or really negative?
Uh, Meeting Quan. Never
Shout
in my
out
life,
Quan.
never in my life had I thought would like anime would cause me to meet somebody who I consider like a real lifetime friend, especially over the internet. You know what I'm saying? And yeah, meeting him and you and just meeting all of y'all. Like I shouldn't say meeting Quan, but just meeting like the guys who I do the podcast with. That's honestly the most shocking and surprising slash positive thing that happened. I would have never thought I would have talked to a guy. I just randomly DM Quan, bro. I saw that he had did a Black Clover video like maybe a week before I had DM'd him, and I was just like, I want to do a collaboration. Quan had like I think he had like 40 subscribers, bro. I had like maybe 50 myself. We was both less than 80 subscribers, no doubt. And I just DM'd him, asked him did he want to do a collaboration stream talking about Marileona and Yami. And yeah, bro, that was all she wrote. Literally ever since that day, we talked at least 4 times, 5 times a month, probably more than that. And yeah, man, I've been that's what 3 years ago, 2019, when that
Oof.
happened.
Yeah,
So
bro.
matter of fact, it might have been before that. It might have been 2018.
Maybe.
Uh, yeah, because I want to say Spider-Man game came out in 2018.
Don't know. I don't play PlayStation.
Whenever that Spider-Man game came out, that's the year I met Quan. So if that was 2018, then yeah. No,
Yeah.
meeting these type of friends, like I actually consider you, Quan, J Cloud, Rex, and even Broku hell. Even though I don't talk to Broku as much as I talk to y'all, but I actually consider y'all niggas lifetime friends. Like I talk about y'all in my real life. My family, my mom knows y'all names. You know what I'm
Interesting. Yeah.
saying?
Respect.
You feel me?
Respect. And I
My
definitely think that's
mom
a
knows
great
all y'all. Shit you not.
I definitely think that's a great point to bring up because no matter like everything, because everything, no matter what it is, when it gets popular enough, there's certain negatives to almost
Mm-hmm.
anything that needs to be you need to be aware of. But at the end of the day, anime and manga and the nerd scene has a lot of
It brings together
positives.
so many people. That's the biggest thing.
Exactly.
That's the biggest positive about the nerd scene is that it brings together. It just brings together people. People who would have never thought they would have somewhere to fit in. People who would have thought they would never had friends because they was weird. Well, not anymore because it's mainstream. But that's what anime and manga does to people over here in the West. It brings together weird people, and in rare occasions you get like us. Well, now I met 4 or 5 lifelong friends because of just Japanese comic books. You know what I'm saying? It's some cool shit.
Facts. All right. Well, great answer right there. Now we're going to move on to the last segment before we end today's episode. And this one is called Contra Segment. Basically, what this is you're going to pick between two things. I'm going to say this or this. You're going to pick out which one's your favorite for you personally. And then for this one, if you want to explain, go ahead, feel free. And this one should be interesting. There's about 10 of these as well. So let's dive into it.
Mhm.
Okay, first one: Lord of the Rings or Game of Thrones?
Lord of the Rings.
Oh, okay, all right. Black Clover or Yu Yu Hakusho?
Oh, oof. Uh, Black Clover. Black Clover. That
Okay.
was a tough one.
DC or Marvel?
DC.
Big Dubs DC. Star Wars or Harry Potter?
Star Wars is not even close.
Oh, okay. All right. NBA or NFL?
NFL.
This one's funny. Black History Month or Thanksgiving?
Ugh. Neither one.
Oh, man. You don't want to eat food on Thanksgiving?
Neither one of those are good holidays, in my opinion.
Well, one is a hollow month, technically.
Oh yeah, that don't need. I don't know, man. I mean, yeah, at least on Thanksgiving I get a day off. So
And eat food, like a lot of
I
food.
mean, I do that every day.
I mean,
I don't need a day to tell me I need to eat food with my family.
fair,
Those are two
fair.
bad holidays.
Damn. Uh, Video games or sports?
All depends on the concept, but you're not gonna tell me the concept, so I'm gonna say
Well, the entirety of video games and the entirety of sports.
probably. hmm, I'll say sports. Sports. See, it just depends on the concept, bro. Cause like for a growing young man, I would say sports, cause it'll teach him discipline. It'll teach him a lot of other stuff. But like for somebody in the hood, you know what I'm saying? I'll say video games because I'm not gonna lie. There's been a lot of times where video games kept me out of trouble. So I don't know, but yeah, go ahead.
Okay.
I'm gonna say sports.
Um. All right. Next, anime or live action television?
Oh, anime. Fuck that. Fuck live action. If this was like 5 years ago, before all the PC shit and all the, the bullshit they've been putting in TV, I probably would have said TV. But nah, fuck the anime. Way better nowadays.
Oh, my bad. I did the wrong thing. Anime or cartoons?
Uh, if we're in 2000, if we're like the early 2000s, cartoons all day. But nowadays, anime 100%.
Okay. Manga or comic books?
Oh, that's a rough one. Manga. I'm going manga. It's not rough. I'm going manga. Just because they're easy to follow along. Comic books, when they get all over the place, bro. They be in like 5 different series. It's just too much sometimes.
Okay. Last one. No nerd stuff for a year, so that's video games, anime, manga, comic books, or no pussy for a year.
Oh, hmm.
Meaning you can't even watch porn.
I can't watch porn.
No.
I'll say no pussy for you,
Okay. All
bro.
right.
If you go no pussy for a year, bro, and you still not if you still like broke, or you still like don't got no come up, you just a bum, bro. Like, cause really I could really be distracting niggas as pussy. So if I can get a whole year with no pussy, and I could just focus on like making money and making moves, oh yeah, I'll come out by the time it's time for me to get pussy back. Oh nigga, I'll be set. I'll have a house by then and everything.
You could argue without video games, anime, manga, and all those distractions, you can focus all that time in your grind.
Yeah, that too. But pussy is a lot harder to not focus on. It's kind of easy to not focus on anime manga, especially when you need some money.
Video games,
Um,
comic books, and all that nerd stuff.
yeah, man, I done done it before, bro. I can do it. I don't know about other people. You know what I'm saying? Me personally, oh yeah, bro, I can go a couple weeks without video games and
No,
manga.
this is a year.
Oh no, but see, I chose pussy for to take out the whole year. I already chose the pussy,
Okay, fair enough.
so I
All right.
still got my video games and stuff.
Okay, fair enough. Fair enough. Well, that is the end of the segment. Appreciate you answering all the questions, of course. Very enlightening, very interesting. Um, I do hope everybody enjoyed this episode of the podcast. Of course, like I said, I'm going to be releasing 2 episodes per week moving forward, doing these interview types. Let me know what you guys think if you're watching it on. I'm probably going to post the entire thing on YouTube, and then obviously the clips be their own thing. We'll see after I kind of look into it. Again, if you guys enjoyed this, make sure you guys rate it 5 stars on Apple Podcasts, rate it 5 stars on Spotify, and check out the website www.thetrendwithrtlfaith.com. Any final words? Anything you want to plug?
Uh, yeah, man, make sure I go check out the podcast. I got a new little podcast coming soon. I might have two new podcasts coming soon, but that's something in the works. Yeah, make sure y'all go check out the Manga versus Manga Against the World YouTube channel. Go check us out on Spotify, Apple, and all that good stuff. You know what I'm saying? I'm always be out here. Been here for 3 years strong now, so I don't think I'm gonna go nowhere no time soon.
All right, shout out to Josuke and the podcast, of course. All right, with that said, hope you guys enjoyed. Y'all have a good one. Take care and peace.